What's going on, everybody? I'm back, and I am going to show you some of my new pickups. Now, I out of all the questions that people ask me over and over and over, and the requests that people make, I can't think of anything that people ask more than to show off some of my collection. And so for a long time, I was really apprehensive because I was like, why does anybody want to see my cards? But then I said, okay, let's do it. And people seem to enjoy it. So it's something I want to regularly do. So a few things have happened over the last month. One thing that happened was, I reached out and I made a video and I said, I'm kind of in a rut in my collection. I don't really know what direction to go. I don't know what I should do. And what ends up happening is I did some spring cleaning. I went into my collection. I went through all my cards and I said, what are the things that I'm still excited about having? And what are the things that I'm not excited about having anymore? And what I did is just like my wife does with her closet once or twice a year, is I went through and picked out the things that don't excite me anymore, and I got rid of them. And in return, I went out and I got some new stuff. So, that's one of the cool things about card collecting is it's not like once you have something, you're out the money and you can never get it back. Like, if I go to the store and I buy a loaf of bread and I eat a couple of pieces of that bread, I can't sell it for anywhere near what I paid for it. But with cards, it's like an asset that holds value. Years ago, I was like, there was this really good deal on a boat. And I'm like, that would be fun. That would be a fun adventure for the family to have a boat. So I bought the boat, and my thought process was, and I didn't pay much for the boat. I mean, it was like an 18.5-foot, boat. And I said, I've got like $5,000. It's just sitting in my savings account. And I could take that $5,000 and buy this boat. And then we could use the boat. And then if I decide at some point I don't want to have the boat anymore, I could probably sell it for about $5,000 again. So that's what I did. And in fact, when I ended up selling it about 3 years later, I ended up making about $1,000. And that's one of the things about cards is it's not like when you buy a card, you're out the money forever. It's not gone. It's not flushed in the toilet. What it is just in a different asset. And the asset is cards. And when there are cards that we say, I don't know if this is my thing anymore, sell it and get stuff that is your thing. And that's the beauty of the hobby, is that we can constantly be changing our direction and our opinion and our interests. And it's not like it costs us a bunch of money because we changed our mind. So I went through and I got rid of some stuff. I sold it off. And I sold a decent amount. I would say maybe 10% of my cards. I said, those aren't really my thing anymore. I'm going to go and buy these things that are my thing. And so I've had a little bit more money to play with over the last month than I had. I recently went to a card show, as I showed a video on not that long ago. And I bought some stuff and I had a little bit more money to spend. And the card show before that, I had a little bit more money than normal to spend. And I've been continuing to buy a few things online as well. See, some of the stuff that I want and I like isn't something that I'm going to find at my local card show. It's not like, it's a Derek Jeter rookie card or a Barry Sanders score rookie card or a common thing. A lot of this stuff in the grade, especially in the grade that I can afford, is not something you see every day, where it's a grade I can afford, but it's got the eye appeal that I want and it meets my specifications. So sometimes you just have to kind of keep your eye out there for those cards. And then when those cards pop up, what you've got to do is you got to buy them. Because when you're looking at cards in like a 2 grade, there aren't a lot of 2s that get me excited. But when there is a 2 that I can afford, that I really like the looks of, you got to get it. because most of the 2s that are out there maybe have a reason it's a 2 that isn't acceptable for what I'm looking for. So I've bought some stuff, and I have continued to go out, and I've continued to buy a few things, and that's what I wanted to show you. Now, first off, I'll say I continue to, in the background, do some through the mail autograph hunting. About 2 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, I bought an Eric Dickerson rookie card and mailed it off to Eric Dickerson to have signed. Eric Dickerson, obviously a legendary running back. He asks for $10 for an autograph. So I mailed the card off with $10. And yes, I got that back a couple of weeks ago. So in September, one of my additions was that rookie card. Now, living in Northern California, I am a lifelong 49er fan. That is my team. We're having an awesome season. We've got an awesome defense. We've got some amazing weapons. And one of my all-time favorite 49ers is Patrick Willis. So I had heard that Patrick Willis sometimes signs through the mail as well. So I went on and I found his Bowman Chrome rookie card, which usually sells for, $10 to $15. Maybe on a high sale, it'll get up to $20 in raw condition. And I bought it for $8. And I sent it off to Levi Stadium, and that also came back. Check that out. And now I have a Patrick Willis signed rookie as well. So those 2 pickups, the Eric Dickerson autograph rookie and the Patrick Willis autograph rookie, were 2 cards that I was super excited to get signed and super excited to get back. But I want to show you now my September pickups and online purchases. And I'm pretty excited about several of them. There's reasons why. Some of them you're going to recognize because they were on, a lot of them were on some of my videos of cards that I've got my eye out for that are some of my targets as to what I'm hoping to be buying soon. And some of them I was able to buy. Again, this is September of 2023 and my pickups. So let's check them out. I hope that you enjoy them. Oh, by the way, one last thing. Something that happens a lot is I feel like people talk about, they'll show cards, but they don't like talking about what they paid for them. And I've always wondered why that is, because I think we're all interested in, well, what did the person pay? But a lot of people don't like to say, and they go, I don't want to talk about what I paid for. I think it's weird. And I don't know if I understand that. I don't understand why it matters what I paid. I mean, why would I not share that? So I don't know if people think it's like, oh, you're like bragging if you share what you paid. Maybe, I don't know. If they don't want to post what they paid because if the card goes down, then it makes them look like it was a bad purchase or something. I don't really know. But my impression, my understanding is hearing what people pay is interesting. It's something people are interested in. So I'm going to share what I paid for these cards as well. Now, some of them I think I got a pretty good deal on, and some of them I think I overpaid a little bit for as far as compared to comps. But again, this goes back to what I said a minute ago. I try to buy low-end, nice-looking vintage stuff. And when I'm looking at cards like T206s, which I bought some of this past month, I try to look in the like 1.5 to 3.5 range. And when you're looking in that price range, a lot of them are really, they're in that price range and they're in that grade because they don't look that nice. So when you find a 2 or a 2.5 or a 1.5 or a 3, and you really like the looks of it, and it looks undergraded to you, and it looks, the eye appeal of it is nice to you and fits your eye, I don't think it's a bad idea to just pay a little extra and get a card that you like the looks of compared to the comps. Because again, at the end of the day, we have to be buying what we like And that includes that you like the looks of it. And in addition to what you like and stuff you like the looks of, it's gotta be a card that you think is good looking, that you think is something that's acceptable. See, some people might go, centering doesn't bother me, I want nice corners. And other people say, I need centering, I don't really care about corners. And other people say, I want the color and the brightness of the color in the card. So when you find the one that fits your needs, if you pay a little bit extra for it, I think that's a no-brainer, because there aren't a lot of 1s and 2s and 3s that are out there. And there aren't a lot of 1s and 2s and 3s that you like the looks of. So when you find a 1 or a 2 or a 3 that you like the looks of, you got to get it. So here are the cards that I picked up in September online and the amount that I paid for each of the cards. Let me know what you think.
All right, so let's take a look at my pickups. Now, first up is a 1951 Bowman Johnny Mize. This card made a brief appearance in a video a couple weeks ago. You can see it's got a little bit of a wax stain, and it's got a little bit of a diamond cut across the top. But all in all, this is a super nice card, no creases, and it was insanely affordable. I paid $11 for this card for a Hall of Famer 1951 Bowman. And, you know, I love the looks of the 51 Bowmans, and it's decent centering. Obviously, it's got wear, and it wouldn't grade high, but I was super happy with that purchase. Next up that I wanted to show is, as you know, my former student Matt Manning is in the Detroit Tigers pitching rotation, and so I PC Matt Manning cards. Now, this is a cool card because, well, first it's a 9.5/10 BGS, but it's a cool card because that picture was him pitching at Petco Park in the Under Armour All-America high school game. And Matt was actually in my class when he went down for that. It was his spring of his senior year, so I actually watched him pitch on TV at that event, which makes it a little bit cooler. And though he's not a Hall of Famer, his card I bought for $18.27. Again, a 9.5/10 cool card. Again, the fact that it's from the Perfect Game Under Armour All-American game is super cool. So I've been wanting that. So another card that I've pointed out to everybody and mentioned that I've wanted for a while is this 1957 Warren Spahn. Now, this isn't a 5. And, you know, it's pretty decent centering. I think it's got really good eye appeal. It's a 5. Now, how a card like this only gets a 5 nowadays is beyond me, but I'm happy to have it. And, you know, to me, this is probably the best looking Warren Spahn card. Obviously, it's not the one with the most demand, but I just think it's a great picture of him. And really happy to pick that up. I've been looking for this one for about a year now. And this card, you can see I paid $50 for it. And again, when you think that just to get a card graded at PSA is, you know, 20 or 25, $50 seems like a great deal. You know, the corners aren't sharp and the coloring's not perfect, but it's a really high eye appeal card. It's a card I've been wanting. It's well centered. I just think it's great. So I'm happy to pick that one up. And then I got a Tom Seaver. Now, this is my favorite Tom Seaver card. It's his second year, the rookie trophy you see there. This is also in a 5. I think it has outstanding eye appeal. When we get a better look at it here in a second, you'll see there's a little bit of wax on the front. And I wonder what it would have gotten had it not had the wax on it. It's very minimal. You have to look to see it. But, you know, it's a really well-centered card. The corners are nice. I think it's got really, really nice eye appeal. And again, PSA 5s seem like pretty good deals to me. They're really nice cards. And you look there again, and I think it's I think it's a great card. I'm super excited to add that to my collection. I think he was asking 65 or 70 with a best offer, and I offered 58 and he took it. So I got this for $58. But again, centering's great. You can kind of see on the bill of his cap there a little bit of that wax. But other than that, I mean, I think it's a beautiful card. All right, so then you'll remember a while back I got this Clark Griffith card. And this is not a new pickup. This is a card I've had. And the reason I got this card is he was the first Yankee captain back when they were the Highlanders. He was the very first captain. And one of the other T206s that I picked up is this Willie Keeler. And, well, Willie Keeler is the third ever Yankee captain, also when they were Highlanders still. And so I've been trying to kind of put together a run of Yankee captain cards. So I've got number 1 there. I've got number 3. I've got a Jeter rookie card and stuff. But I added number 2 to the list. And Kid Elberfeld here is the second ever Yankee captain. Now, this is a little off center left to right, but it's got absolutely gorgeous color. That red is so dark and rich, and it doesn't have a crease in it. And I just thought it was a gorgeous card. So even though I really do value centering, this one's, it's a little OC. It's probably like, I don't know, 65-35, something like that. So the second Yankee captain, this is a SGC 2.5. So now I have the first, the second, and the third Yankee captains. And again, you can see just how rich the red is in this card. And maybe it's more like a 70-30. But I just think it's beautiful. And I'm super happy to have it. And then what I picked up is actually the fourth Yankee captain as well. Now, Hal Chase is a very interesting character who has quite a history to him. If you are ever bored, look him up and read about some of the shenanigans he got into, some of which you might be familiar with. But he was the fourth Yankee captain, and he's got a few cards. He's got a pink back portrait and a blue back portrait, but I really like the blue, and I really wanted one with really good coloring. And that's what this one has. The blue in this one is great. And he's got blue eyes, and they just pop. You'll see on the closer look here in a minute. And I had to go with the blue background. And I just think that this is a gorgeous card. And again, now I have the first 4 Yankee captains. Now, this card he was asking $210, but I made a package deal with him, and he refunded me 10% because I bought this card and the next card you're going to see in a deal. So this was a PSA 3. It's got a little bit of a mark at the top left there. And, the centering's not perfect, but I think it's a really nice looking card. So I have the first 4 Yankee captains. And then the first person ever honored in Monument Park in Yankee Stadium is Miller Huggins, who was the manager of the Yankees during the 20s when they went on that torrid run of championships when they just were absolutely loaded. He was the manager, and he is a Hall of Famer as a manager. And I've been wanting this card for a while as well. And again, one of the things I love about this particular copy is the coloring is just awesome. So again, that was part of the package deal, so he gave me 10% off on that one as well. So I got it for $225, pretty decent centering and really good color. And again, no creases. So when you can get a 2 and it doesn't have a visible crease, I'm all in on that, especially when it's got that kind of color. So those are my pickups. Let me know what you think of those pickups. And I look forward to hearing what you think.